Hello people, today we are going to learn about planning process group project management processes, estimate activity duration. So let's see. Estimate activity duration is the process of estimating the number of work periods needed to complete individual activities with the estimated resources. The key benefit of this process is that it provides the amount of time each activity will take to complete, which is a major input into the developed schedule process. The inputs involved are schedule management plan, activity list, activity attributes, activity resource requirement, resource calendar, project scope statement, risk register, resource breakdown structure, enterprise environmental factors, organization process asset. And tools and techniques involved are expert judgment, analogous estimating, parametric estimating, three-point estimating, group decision-making techniques, reserve analysis, and output is activity duration estimate and project document updates. So let's see input one by one. First input is a schedule management plan. The schedule management plan defines the method used and the level of accuracy along with other criteria required to estimate activity duration, including the project update cycle. Then activity list defines the activities that will need duration estimates. Then activity attributes provide the primary data input for use in estimating durations required for each activity in the activity list. Then the fourth input is an estimated activity resource. The estimated activity resource requirement will have an effect on the duration of activity since the level to which the resources assigned to the activity meet the requirement will significantly influence the duration of most activities. For example, if additional or lower skilled resources are assigned to an activity, there may be reduced efficiency or productivity due to increased communication, training, and coordination needs, leading to longer duration estimate. Then the next input is resource calendar. The resource calendars influence the duration of scheduled activities due to the availability of specific resources, types of resources, and resources with specific attributes. For example, when staff members are assigned to an activity on a full-time basis in general, a skilled staff member can be expected to complete a given activity in less time than relatively a less skilled staff member. The next input is project scope statement. The assumption and constraints from the project scope statement are considered when estimating the activity durations. Example of assumptions include existing conditions, availability information, length of reporting period. Example of constraints include available skilled resources and contract terms and requirement. Next input is risk register. The risk register provides the list of risk along with the result of risk analysis and risk response planning. Then there is resource breakdown structure, which provides a hierarchical structure of the identified resources by resource category and resource type. Then there is enterprise environmental factors that can influence the estimate activity duration include duration estimating databases and other reference data, productivity metrics, published commercial information, and location of the team member. The organizational process asset that can influence the estimate activity duration process include historical duration information, project calendar, scheduling methodologies, and lesson learned. The tools and techniques used, the first thing is expert judgment. Expert judgment guided by historical information can provide duration estimate information or recommended maximum activity duration from prior similar projects. Expert judgment can also be used to determine whether to combine method of estimating and how to reconcile differences between them. Then next tool and technique is analogous estimating. It is a technique for estimating the duration or cost of an activity or a project using historical data from a similar activity or project. Analogous estimating uses parameters from previous similar projects such as duration, budget, size, weight, and complexity as the basis for estimating the same parameter or measure for a future project. When estimating durations, this technique relies on the actual duration of the previous similar project as the basis for estimating the duration of the current project. It is gross value estimating approach, sometimes adjusted for known differences in the project complexity. Analogous duration estimating is frequently used to estimate project duration when there is a limited amount of detailed information about the prior project is there. It is most reliable when the previous activities are similar in fact and not just in appearance, but the project team member preparing the estimates have the needed expertise too. The next tools and technique used for estimating activity duration is parametric estimating. It is an estimating technique in which an algorithm is used to calculate cost or duration based on historical data and project parameters. Parametric estimating uses statistical relationship between historical data and other variables, example square footage in construction, to calculate an estimate for activity parameters such as cost, budget, and duration. Activity duration can be quantitatively determined by multiplying the quantity of work to be performed by the labor hours per unit of work. For example, activity duration on a design project is estimated by number of drawings multiplied by the number of labor hours per drawing. On a cable installation, the meters of cable multiplied by the number of labor hours per meter. For example, if the assigned resource is capable of installing 25 meters of cable per hour, the duration required to install 1000 meters is 40 hours. 1000 meters divided by 25 meters per hour. Then the next tool and technique is used for estimating activity duration is 3-point estimate. The accuracy of a single activity duration estimate may be improved by considering estimate uncertainty and risk. The concept originated with program evaluation and review technique, also called PERT. The PERT uses three estimates to define an approximate range for an activity duration. The 3 point are most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic. The two commonly used formula are triangular and beta distributions. The formulas are: for triangular distribution, we have to calculate activity duration based on the adding all the time estimate. Most This is optimistic, this is most likely, and this is pessimistic time estimate divided by 3. This is for triangular distribution. For beta distribution, from traditional PERT technique is using most likely, four times the most likely time estimate plus optimistic plus pessimistic, the whole thing divided by 6. So this formula here gives you the beta distribution, which is also called PERT technique. PERT estimation. I have already spoken about PERT estimate in my past tutorial. If you want to learn more about using a solved example, I have explained it. So if you want to learn more, you can go back to my channel and search for that video. Next tools and technique is activity resource requirement. Activity resource requirement identifies the types and quantities of resource required for each activity in work package. These requirements can be aggregated to determine the estimated resource for each work package and each work period. The amount of detail and the level of specificity of the resource requirement description can vary by application area. The resource requirement documentation for each activity can include the basis of estimate for each resource as well as the assumptions that were made in determining which type of resources are applied, their availability, and what quantities are used. Then next technique is group decision making technique. It is a team based approach such as brainstorming. The Delphi or nominal group technique are also used for engaging team members to improve estimate accuracy and commitment to emerging estimates. By involving a structured group of people who are close to technical execution of the work in the estimation process, additional information is gained and more accurate estimates are obtained. Additionally, when people are involved in estimation process, their commitment towards meeting the result estimates increases. Then there is reserve analysis. There are two kinds of reserve analysis: contingency reserves and management reserves. So let's see one by one. Duration estimate may include contingency reserves, sometimes referred to as time buffer or buffers into the project schedule to account for schedule uncertainty. Contingency reserves are estimated duration within the schedule baseline, which is allocated for identifying risks that are accepted and for which contingent or mitigation responses are developed. Contingency reserves are associated with known unknowns. This is known unknown, which may be estimated to to accounts for which unknown amount of rework. The contingency reserves may be percentage of the estimated activity duration, a fixed number of work period, or may be developed by using quantitative analysis quantitative analysis methods such as Monte Carlo simulation. Contingency reserve may be separated from the individual activities and aggregated into buffers, which is management reserve. Estimate may also be produced for the amount of management reserve of time for the project. Management reserves are specified amount of project duration withheld for management control purposes and are reserved for unforeseen work that is within the scope of project. Management reserves are intended to address the unknowns. This is the difference between the contingency reserve and management reserve. Contingency reserves are known unknowns, and here known unknowns, and for management reserve it's unknown unknowns that can affect the project. Management reserve is not included in the schedule baseline, but it is a part of overall project duration requirement. Depending on the contract terms, use of management reserve may require a change to schedule baseline. The output is obviously the activity duration estimate. Duration estimates are quantitative assessment that of the likely number of time periods that are required to complete an activity. Duration estimates do not include any lags. Activity duration estimates may include some indication of the range of possible result. For example, 2 weeks plus or minus 2 days indicates that the activity will at least take 8 days, not more than 12 days, assuming 5-day work week, and 15% probability of exceeding 3 weeks, which indicates a high probability 85% that the activity will take place will take 3 weeks or less. Then we update the project documents, mainly activity attributes and assumptions made in developing the activity duration estimate, such as skill level and availability, as well as the basis of estimation of our duration. So guys, I hope you got some idea on estimate activity duration process. So let's revise it once again. And so inputs are schedule management plan, activity list, activity attribute, activity resource requirement, resource calendar, project scope statement, risk register, resource breakdown structure, EEF and OPA, and tools and techniques are expert judgment, analogous estimating, parametric estimating, 3-point estimating, decision making techniques, and reserve analysis. Here, three-point estimate uses the three triangular distribution or beta distribution. Beta distribution is also PERT estimate, which uses the formula which we discussed in the previous slide, which is optimist 4 times the most likely plus optimistic plus pessimistic divided by 6 for the beta distribution, and for triangular distribution just add the 3 time estimates divided by 3. In group decision making techniques, we use the Delphi method or group take other group techniques, brainstorming, mind mapping, etc. In reserve analysis, we have management reserve and contingency reserve. Contingency reserves refer to known unknowns, and management reserves refers to unknown, and they are both part of the project duration. So output is obviously the activity duration estimate and project document update. So guys, I hope you got some idea on the estimate activity duration process. Subscribe to my channel or come back to my channel for more videos on PMP and other things. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.